Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're watching my collection tour Mark IV. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start off this collection tour with just the head-on view of the display behind me. Now you might be thinking there might be a slight blur. I don't know if it's coming through. There might be a very slight blur. That's because this room is quite small, and in order to get all 7 IKEA BLALIDENs into the shot, I'm recording this on a phone attached to a DJI OSM gimbal, but because the room is so small I couldn't fit all 7 in the frame, so I had to zoom out and use that setting on the iPhone where it instead of going for 1 by, it goes to like 0.9 or 0.5. I think this is 0.9, but when you do that, unfortunately you get a bit of blur, so it's not quite as crisp as I'd like. But don't worry, this is just for the first few minutes, because I wanted to show you like a video of just the head-on look, but the next few shots now will be 4K and a lot smoother. So there you have it. That's the main display here in the collection room / YouTube studio. 7 IKEA BLALIDENs resting on 2 MODUCASE Custom MAX series. I believe the only difference between mine and regular MAX series is that mine are they're 125 centimeters long, whereas the regular are 120. The depth and the height are still the same, and of course I've got risers and somewhere to hide my cables, just that little section, a black section underneath the 7 IKEA BLALIDENs. So just giving you an overview here. Now we're back to 4K, so this should look really sharp now, because I'm not using the zoom out, because now I'm just from an angle, just getting a bit closer. So like I said, 7 IKEA BLALIDENs. By the way, any product that I mention in terms of like Luke lights or IKEA BLALIDENs or IKEA MILSBO or MODUCASE, I'll have links and stuff like that in the description, just in case you're new to collecting and want to have a look. So yeah, I love that 1 figure per shelf look, so that's why I stuck with these. And of course I wanted to display vehicles, that's why I got the MODUCASE Custom Max. I needed them to be a bit longer so I could fit 7 of these BLALIDENs on top, but also yeah, I needed kind of a sturdy riser, but the main part was a display. So I needed a vehicles display. So I needed something big enough to display vehicles like the Tumbler or the Jazz Inc. 89 that I have on order, and I needed something that could strong enough to support these. So just going through the different layers here. The top layer is basically some of my favorite movies. Now there are definitely some figures missing from this, because a lot of them are in the IKEA, the MILSBO downstairs in the movie icons display. But you have, you know, the 89 Batman, and you've got, of course, on top, of course, you've got the Dark Knight stuff, and a DX13 and Peacemaker, which is gifted to me from Joao Big Brother. The second row down, they're MCU, so some of kind of key suits and stuff like that, and key characters from MCU. So big fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, so you got the Mark 47 Tom Holland, you've got some stuff from Iron Man, obviously, and then Endgame Cap, and my favorite suit, the Mark 6 So yeah, top layer is basically some of my favorite movies. The second layer is some of my favorite MCU characters from favorite MCU movies. This layer is obviously the Mandalorian display in the bottom. Then is original trilogy. Look, I'm flying through these. This isn't like the tour. We're going to be spending a bit of time on each individual figure, but I'm just kind of giving you kind of a whistle-stop tour into the layout of these. So yeah, so the bottom shelf in the Blaledens original trilogy. The second from the bottom is Mandalorian, and a little bit of Book of Boba Fett there for that Cad Bane, couldn't resist. Then MCU, and then kind of miscellaneous, some of my favourite movies, basically Dark Knight, 89, Batman, and of course the DX13. Now there are some definitely missing. I've got Robocop downstairs and a bunch of other things you'll see in the movie icons display. So yeah, this is, well, you can see a reflection of my dog anyway. There he is. Star of the show, obviously. 1-to-1 scale Cavalier. So this here is the tumbler. This is the Hot Toys tumbler 2.0, obviously huge Dark Knight fan. And that's the Batman Begins MMS 595. That would be, all the numbers will be showing up when we're going through the tour as well. And yeah, so there you have a bunch of troopers as well. So that's kind of an overview. The IKEA Blaledens, because I like that single one figure per cube look. Got the Luke lights for the lights. You know, a few CCFLs, NEOLEDs, and of course fusion reactors. Okay, so I've turned on the lights, and actually, full disclosure, I filmed this section during the day, so that's why the light's different. So the lights are on, so that's where the warm tones are coming from, there's light coming in through the window. I'm just kind of showing you, like, my back is to the door. I just want to give you a whistle-stop tour to the actual room itself. So I've already shown you the main display. That's just the window with the blind down, of course, to block out any light, because I don't want them to affect the figures, because light can cause damage. This is where I do all my recording and editing of my kind of unboxing, reviews, live streams, editing. So kind of obviously the room, like most content creators, 1/6 scale, doubles as a collection room and kind of, I suppose, YouTube studio. So got the Secret Lab chair, comfortable, spending a lot of time in it. Got the HyperX Quadcast gaming mic on the boom arm, which is very handy just for changing it for various things. That's just a simple Kodak ring light, just better lighting, just kind of looks a lot more professional on the streams. MacBook where I do all my editing on iMovie. That's an old iPhone, because I found that it not only allows me to adjust the angle of the camera, but it's better. It's higher quality than the MacBook camera, and I find the MacBook camera, while it's fixed point, and it really bleaches everything out, whereas the iPhone camera naturally adjusts and you get deeper colors and better colors and crystal clear. Yeah, so these are IKEA LACK shelves. I think these are like €8 each. And it's a good display when you have things that are just too high for the Blaledens or DTOFs or MILSBO. For example, these two quarter scale I have here. This is the Mark III Iron Man quarter scale. I should have lit it up for the review, but as I was recording, I realized I'd forgotten. So yeah. And the second of the two quarter scales, this is the, I think it's called the QS19. This is the second time they did this. Great figure, terrible ankles. You need to use that crotch grabber there, which I'm utilizing. You might be thinking, where's his cape? But like, if you're a Dark Knight fan, you'll know that he has the backpack on, because I'm recreating that Hong Kong heist scene where he jumps off the tower. Thanos, this one was gifted to me. Actually quite lucky to have a few things that were gifted to me. But yeah, Thanos being one of them. This is Endgame Loki, so just sticking with the Endgame theme, we've got Endgame Loki. Of course, there's actually quite a good head sculpt, really, when it has the crown on. Not so good when it has a crown off, but I remember there was a lot of people saying it was terrible. That base there was gifted me by Ian, aka H and Silver Fox. He knew he was looking for one. I'd intended putting the Dark Knight Batman Begins on top, because I'd seen D Knight doing it. It looks incredible, and sometimes I do that, but for now Loki's on it. And this is the Battle Damage Mark 85. Beautiful suit. As far as nanotech goes, it's my favourite nanotech suit. And of course, sometimes I have that displayed with the kind of iconic I Am Iron Man scene with the very, very good, strong Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. head sculpt. So here, a few things here on this IKEA LACK. These are all Endgame figures. You've got Black Widow, you've got a Hawkeye, and of course you've got Rocket holding that nano gauntlet that he comes with. I love when they include little things like that, and I like incorporating bits and pieces. Of course, that stand is not Endgame, it's not Marvel, it's actually the stand that comes with the deluxe MMS 700 Return the Jedi Vader. I don't use it with Vader because, of course, Vader's, as you'll see later on, is inside one of the Blaledens, and it's just, he's a tall figure and he wouldn't fit in with that, so just kind of repurposed it there. Apologies for the light bleed coming from the ring light there, but And of course, this was another figure that was gifted to me. Someone heard I was looking for it and they just shipped it to me. Didn't ask me for shipping, didn't ask me for any payment. I offered, but just really, really generous. Someone was moving it on with just a time, and yeah, just a nice construction version. So we got a bit of a glitch there, and we're back in business again. Yeah, so that's the floating shelf display here. Just a handy way to maximize the use of the space, and of course fit in taller figures or figures with big bases, quarter scale or oversized figure like Thanos. Just some artwork here, some nice vintage looking A New Hope poster, and then a really nice Terminator poster, and then finally this poster that was gifted to me for my 30th, and I only got it framed a few years ago. Figure that needs no introduction, but I'll introduce it anyway. This is the Inart rooted smirking sculpt Joker, which I finally got because I was originally shipped 2 regular neutral sculpts, but Lion Rock Toys, I shipped back one of them, and they managed to get me this one here. So still an incredible photo. I love those, or incredible figure. Really like those seamless arms and the dirt and the makeup on the hands, and I like the rooted hair and the tailoring and everything. And the handcuffs are a nice inclusion as well. So, and the jail cell obviously is fantastic. Not the best angle and showing from there, but this is the Batpod. This is the Batpod 2.0. I will eventually pose that with the DX19 when Inart stop dragging their heels and give us a decent DX19 style suit. Some graphic novels, a Batmobile by, I think it was a Hot Toys, or not, Hot Wheels. This is a Shepperton Studios wearable Stormtrooper helmet, and then this is just how I manage some accessories. Most of the, I get in a figure after I pose it up and review it. If it's a figure I tend on reposing a lot, I just put the accessories, empty the accessories out of the box in here, and the art box goes up and stored in the attic. Right, so that's the room tour anyway. Apologies for quick interruption to this video. If you're watching this video right now, hit the like button, and more importantly, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me grow the channel, and the support is greatly appreciated. Back to the video. So this is where the fun begins. What we're looking at here is the Batman 89 2.0. This is with a Jackson Jude drape cape type E. Absolutely essential. This figure is not perfect. Okay, we've heard about the dimpling, we've heard about the cape being bad, and the articulation isn't great, and some of the faceplates aren't that great, but I find you put a Jackson Jude drape cape on this, pose it upright, incorporate that base and the neutral faceplate. Look, I still think that looks incredible. It has its issue, but I love it because if it wasn't for this particular version of Batman, I mightn't have a collection right now. This was the movie that 1989 Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson, Batman, with that amazing Batmobile. This is the movie that kind of made me fall in love with movies and made me fall in love with the character of Batman. And of course, you know, when I was a kid having the toys and stuff like that, it's pretty damn cool. So yeah, this top shelf, we're going from left to right from the top shelf of all the 7 IKEA BLALIDENs. And these are basically, you know, not basically figures that are from, they're not Marvel, they're not MCU, they're not Star Wars, they're not Mandalorian. They're kind of DC and miscellaneous, mostly DC, but I have a lot of the movie icons display that would be on this top shelf down in the movie icons display in the IKEA MILSBO, which you'll see later on. But for now, we've got the DX08 Joker, and of course I've got the Batman 89 2.0. This one, a lot of people want this figure. A lot of people want, this is kind of one of the last remaining grails, if you want to believe that. Fantastic looking figure, great tailoring. Love the pop of purple and all the different accessories that it comes with in the Jack Nicholson sculpts A1 as well. They may or may not do them again, but sure, look, time will tell. This was one of the best figures released in 2024. This is the Hot Toys Bane 2.0 from the Dark Knight Rises. Just absolutely incredible. Just like, look, again, Dark Knight trilogy is my favorite trilogy, and I love the Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, it's not as good as the Dark Knight, but solid movie, excellent movie, 4 stars in my opinion. Tom Hardy absolutely knocked it out of the park. This particular figure, of course, you got the seamless body, the improved kind of bulky chest and lats and biceps. I probably should have taken off the jacket for this, but even you get 2 different jackets. This is the more iconic one, that sheepskin one from that kind of that American football scene where the football field explodes. But a fantastic figure. Again, a figure that needs no introduction. This is the, in fairness, this thing still looks incredible. Forget your J&D, that's just whatever about the Hot Toys one, like this one here. This is incredible. The magnetic base, I know a lot of people having problems with it. I personally haven't yet, but I'm used to posing figures without any stands or waist grabber or crotch grabber. Got to get that center of gravity right, and flatten out those heels for this one especially. But recently touched up the rooted hair on this. It was getting a little bit poofy, so I just took a tiny little paintbrush, and nothing more than water, and just brushed it back. Happy how the right side of his face turned out, and kind of the curl, or kind of his hair on the left side of his face. Still need to do the top to get a bit better, like for that kind of thinning look. Love the tailoring on this, love the body proportions, the hunch, the die cast weapons, and just love this pose as well. From this is the word iconic gets thrown around, but this is an iconic character from an iconic scene, an iconic movie. Let's be honest, ultimate triple threat. These are all triple threats, really. Yeah, still love it. A figure which is not perfect, but it is one of the favorites in my collection. Now you'll note as well, I'm standing him on the stand, but there's no crotch grabber. I tend not to use the crotch grabbers. Sometimes I've kind of come around to using some bases, especially if they're environmental, like the Bespin loop base that lights up with different colors you'll see later on. Or if I just like the elegant look, like the Inart Joker magnetic base. I just think it's an elegant looking base. So I don't have the crotch grabber here, but this is the DX19 posed with a again a custom cape. Hot Toys need to up their cape game. This is a Jackson Jew drape cape gifted to me by Alan, the 6 Scale Gallery. So if you're watching, thanks very much. Really elevates this. The stock cape was okay, not great, but not the worst. But yeah, I can see the likeness to Christian Bale there. This is my favorite suit. This was out of all the different renditions, this is my favorite suit. I love a simple pose there. Very heroic there with his grapnel gun in the right hand. Great figure, love it. Again, one of the favorites. It's one of the Terminator 2. Let's face it, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. I've loved this movie since I was about 10. I'll probably love it until the day I die. This is one of Hot Toys' best ever created figures. You'll notice I've lit up some of them with fusions. I do actually have the fusion reactor kit for its right eye there. I used to pose it up. Unfortunately, though, the wire is a little too short and won't reach all the way down from the top shelf. I might get another one, just get an extended wire and then wire it up, because it's a little touch, but it makes a big difference. The likeness to Arnie here is incredible. The battle damage on the face, the chest, that left arm. It comes with a regular arm and a broken arm that I have there, like completely ripped out with all the wiring and metal. The blood and the guts around the left knee. I've got a pose with the grenade launcher. Some of the grenades are on the bandolier around his chest, and some of them, 2 of them are actually inside in the gun. The gun opens up and you can put them in. The machine gun's hanging off the bottom, you can't see it there, and yeah, the handgun is tucked into his belt, so incorporate a lot of the accessories. This is a figure that was gifted to me by Joao, aka Big Brother, absolute gentleman. We kind of had a bit of a joke there when this was first announced. It had terrible jointed arms, and this is the figure that needed the seamless arm treatment. And I said maybe they'll update it, and he said, you know what, if they do that, I'll get you one. And sure enough, a few days later, they put up the updated posts, and this is an incredible figure. Likeness to John Cena on point. Comes in a nice bunch of accessories. The Peacemaker rifle, gun, which I haven't removed here, but you can remove. And of course, you know, all the different knives and stuff like that he comes with as well. Well, not knives, axe and sword. Now we're down to the second shelf from the top. This is the MCU display. Now, I have other MCU figures, but these are just the ones that are on display at the moment. And this is powered with a Fusion Reactors kit. Great thing about the mech test is it's covered in wires. There's wires on the arms, wires on the legs, wires coming out of that little kind of satchel he has on his right hip. And there's some wires there from the Fusion as well, but I didn't bother to hide them because, well, it just makes sense that he's hanging with wires. Love the lights blue there. It lights up from the chest as well. And the 2 repulsors as well. And of course, same movie, but this is, I think if you wanted one 6 scale Iron Man from Hot Toys, this is the one to get. The Hot Toys Mark III 2.0 from that iconic 2008 Iron Man movie that launched the MCU. I mean, this is like, when I think Iron Man, I want a guy in a suit. The nanotech is cool, like the Mark 85, but I mean, I give me the Mark 6 or the Mark 3 any day. Mark 6 being my favorite, but this is probably the most iconic look from classic red and gold, that kind of candy apple red look. Of course, this is powered up with a Fusion Reactor kit as well. That's where the lights and the chest and the hand is lit up there as well. Yeah, it looks absolutely incredible. Love this. And of course, like all the CCFLs or the NEOLEDs or the Luke lights themselves for the cabinets, like the actual cabinet light in itself, or the cabinet lighting for the MODUCASES, or the Fusion Reactors kits, they're all plugged into hubs, which are plugged into a smart plug. So it's just literally an app on my phone and one touch and everything comes on. The lights for the cabinets themselves, the CCFLs, the NEOLED lightsabers, Fusion Reactors kit and all that. and Light Up base, which you'll see later on. This is a beautiful figure, it probably doesn't get enough love, and it's really cheap at the moment. Endgame cap, absolutely incredible, good likeness to Chris Evans, and I love the inclusion of Mjolnir and 2 shields, the regular and the battle damaged. And simple walk and pose, had to use the crotch grabber there. I think it's the only crotch grabber I'm using. I think it is in the display, but yeah, just a little kind of a walk and pose, and just like the look of it with the stand. It's a rare kind of a time I use a crotch grabber. This is a Mark 6 Iron Man. This is not the 2.0, this is the 1.0 diecast. Absolutely incredible looking, from Avengers and Iron Man 2. Yeah, Iron Man 2, not the most iconic or best movie, but gave us some great scenes. And this is on top of a Terminator base, because I wanted to raise it up. It makes it easier to hide the wire coming off. You can't really see the wire there. It's only if you go up close and look behind the base you can see the wire for the Fusion Reactors kit. And I couldn't really get the Mark 6 without the Mark 1 War Machine. And again, this is powered up. You can see the little cable coming out of its, I think, left leg. So I've hid the wires coming out of the head and the chest and the arms there from the Fusion Reactors kit. But love how that looks lit up. I'm actually really proud of this pose. Probably one of my favorite poses in the entire collection. So you got the red eyes, you got the chest lit up, the repulsor, he's got his Gatling gun, all his kind of rockets on his wrist and stuff like that. And obviously the heavily battle damaged look of that chest plate. You see all the bullet holes and scratches and stuff. This is the base he comes with. You can see the little wire there, but you can't really see it from here. Base is just helped to hide the wire. Just blocks it out from the angle I'm looking at. And look, big fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and I really like Homecoming, particularly No Way Home, obviously, like, you know, and I do like Homecoming, because it's kind of like a really simple kind of a vibe to it. But got this, actually used to buy a good bit on Sideshow, got this pretty much all for points. And this just, look, still one of my favorite figures in the collection. Love the look, the kind of vibrant red and blue, the kind of classic Spider-Man look. But then I just love the fact that it's kind of, you know, blended in with his school clothes. He's got just a hoodie with the headphones over the hoodie, and then the yellow blazer that he used in Homecoming and Science Today book and stuff like that. And just in a very simple walk and pose there. And the school bag, it's just figures with accessories that you get to use the accessories. Now we're down to the third shelf from the top, or basically, you know, second from the bottom, and this into the Mandalorian display. For the most part, these are in chronological order of appearance. So here, this is the, I think it's the TMS Television Masterpiece Series 007. I think that's what just flashed up on the screen there. And of course, you got Grogu there, or Baby Yoda, but he hadn't really been named yet, so everyone's calling him Baby Yoda. And this hover pram, it is screen accurate, but this actually comes with the Beskar Mando Deluxe, not the chrome one, which I'm going to show you, but the Beskar Mando Deluxe. So kind of one of the reasons I haven't sold that. I want to keep onto this to recreate that pose. So this is the Beskar Mando Deluxe, is not on display, but this is the chromed out version of him. And what I love about this is it not only recreates a scene from, I think it's season 2, episode 2, and he gets attacked by those bandits, and they cause him to crash his speeder bike, and he's there holding the handle of the speeder bike. And of course he's got Grogu in a little satchel, which is a nice accessory. He's got the reclaimed Boba Fett armor and jetpack, his own jetpack, and then his the kind of packages for the crate dragon meat and stuff like that. It's a figure that comes with a lot of accessories, that you can pose with a lot of his accessories, but not make it look like you're shoehorning them in there. That's the way it was in that scene, so it looks incredible. This is that 2-pack. I still think that 2-pack is great value, and right now you can get it pretty much next to nothing. I think it was one of the things that their Sideshow were giving away for free. This is one of the best head sculpts I think they've ever done. They tend to do very well with older gentlemen because of the wrinkles and stuff like that. Of course, this guy might have a bit of scarring and stuff going on. Tamora Morrison head sculpt. This wouldn't look out of place in Dune, let's be honest, but so the kind of Tusken Raider kind of robed up version of them, really like that with the hood and stuff like that. Then we've got, I think so far we're actually in chronological order. There is one exception towards the end, I believe, but yeah, this is a figure that, like, you know, I don't think gets enough love. It had its issues. I think a lot of people ended up having problems with its elbows were breaking, which is fair enough. I can understand why it would dampen people's spirits. Not the best likeness to Rosario Dawson. I can see her there, but not particularly strong likeness now, let's be honest. This is CCFL. I'm currently moving away from, I have a pair of NEOLEDs. I think they're better. They give off less heat and they're more flexible, but I will be swapping that out and might give that away actually, or might give it away to a channel member or something like that, and replace with 2 NEOLEDs. Really like that pose. I wish the lantern lit up. This is one of my favorite looks for Boba Fett. Of course, this was the other half of the TMS 034 Television Masterpiece Series 034 from that epic episode of The Mandalorian. Now this guy, this is kind of a little breach of my triple threat rules. I usually have to love the character, love the source material, and love the version. Do love the character here, and you know, both animated and live action. The source material, Book of Boba Fett, not a great show. However, episodes 5 and 6, I've said it before, I'll say it again, absolute quality. It's weird the way those 2 episodes are some of the best Star Wars content, unfortunately, or in one of the worst Star Wars shows. But this guy in that scene where he walks out of the desert, pretty damn epic. And it comes with, I think, is it Toto 360? But I just pose him up there. Simple pose, really like it, great character. So technically that should be after Luke then. And in fairness, like, some of the best piece of Star Wars, if you think about it there, this epic, you know, Mandalorian Luke, that episode was some of the best Star Wars content ever. So was the Ahsoka one, in my opinion, and so was the one where Boba Fett gets his armor back. Mandalorian gave us some super stuff. Now we're down to the bottom. Apologies for having the speaker there, just trying to hold that door open there while I film this. So it's one of the older figures I have. So this bottom shelf here is original trilogy. People say, like, you know, a lot of the time you put your worst figures on the bottom shelf. I tend to disagree. I'm putting them there because it's easier to wire these, because a lot of them have either CCFLs or in this case a NEOLED. This isn't the CCFL, this is a NEOLED. I've got all my CCFLs and NEOLEDs from R15 Custom, but it makes it easier for me to wire them because I've drilled a hole into the bottom of the Blalidens. So this next one then, Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett. In fairness, like, just very cool, mysterious character. Didn't really get that much screen time in the original trilogy, and they definitely didn't do the character justice in the show. But this is the outfit, the Jeremy Bulloch style. Obviously they had very different physiques. This guy was a lot skinnier than Tamora Morrison. And he's standing on one of the bases that comes with the MMS 700 Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Vader. Again, because I have Vader, you'll see him later on. But it's just, he's very tall and it's hard to fit in these tall bases as well. Speaking of bases, this base does not come with this guy. I think this is the MMS 736 base, the Stormtroopers that they 2.0'd. And I picked up 2 of them with the bases. I love the look of this guy on the base. Yeah, it's not canon, it's not screen accurate. He was never on the Death Star in this outfit, I don't believe. But this is an incredible figure. Like, I think the likeness to Mark Hamill is there. Not that strong. I love the pop of orange, in fact, that's heavily weathered, and all the little kind of like straps and stuff that he hangs off him. Of course, you got the gun, the lightsaber hanging off his belt. You got that chest box and the pipe that goes nowhere, and the grappling gun, which is magnetic, which is, they didn't have to do that, but they did. And it looks great, in fairness. So I have Vader flanked by 2 of these Death Stars dioramas. Who knows, maybe I swap out Luke and I put in the other Stormtrooper there. So this is the MMS 700 Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Vader, and so far in this review you've seen the 2 bases that he comes with. The regular base with the stairs, and then the light up base which I have Boba Fett on. That likeness to Sebastian Shaw is incredible. It comes with separate rolling eyeballs function. The chest box not only lights up but blinks in sequence. Such a simple touch, but like, us collectors go mad for an old LED, you know yourself. The belt boxes light up, and again, this looks orange on screen, but I can assure you it is red in person. This is a NEOLED by R15 Custom. I picked up actually one for this guy, one for the Obi-Wan that I've shown you, and not on screen, I didn't show you the 2 that I got for Ahsoka. I haven't wired them up yet, but I will, maybe for the next time. There's plenty of changes coming, so the Mark V collection tour will be pretty epic with the Jazz Inc. 89, some various other things I have planned. The MMS 736, I mentioned this already. I picked up 2 of these with the Death Star light up base. It just look, nothing really screams Star Wars like that that environment there, you know. Certain things scream Star Wars really, like, besides the characters and the obvious things, sabers, sound effects, the environments like these lightsabers. But yeah, those environments are pretty damn incredible. DX24, Bespin Luke, finally they went down and gave it to us. I love the likeness on this, specifically when you have it with this hair. I wasn't gone on the other look, the swap out hairpiece. I think the blaster is a DL44, I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember. I think it's a DL44, blaster looks good. And again, that's a CCFL that I've imposed them up with, looks great. And really kind of glows there, and it glows a lot bluer in real life. These are the type of bases that I can get on board with. The ones that are environmental, like a piece of the actual environment from the movie, and it lights up with 2 different colors. The 2 generators with that white light, and then of course the kind of red-orange glow from that scene. So the MMS 701 and the MMS 511, I probably should get a fusion to light up C-3PO's eyes, and R2-D2 look better lit up, and there's a hole drilled into the, you can see it there at the back there, drilled into the metal bottom of this Baliden. Be very easy, just wire them up. I think I'm going to go down that route. Absolutely incredible. So yeah, that's the Baliden display. Now, underneath the 7 IKEA Balidens, I've got 2, like I mentioned already, these are moducases, so they're Custom MAX. Now the Max, I believe, is 50 centimeters by 50 centimeters by 120. These are the same, but mine are 125. I need an extra bit of length there, and obviously they're on risers of the same length, and I've above them and in between the Balidens, I've got a little magnetic sections that I can take off, where I can hide all the wires that come down to the Luke lights and the CCFLs and the NEOLED and fusion reactors and light up bases. So this is obviously the tumbler from the Dark Knight and the MMS 595. Terrible figure, however. I have added the Jackson shoe, custom cowl, and an OT Customs cape, and now it actually looks, it's doing it justice. It looks very, very imposing there. The only thing, I kind of prefer this guy to be posed, say like on that base that Ian gave me. I just think it would look a lot better, but for now I think it's nice having him next to the tumbler there. I think Jazz Inc. are planning on doing the tumbler as well. Now, if Mario's watching, let me know. Leave a comment if you're watching, Mario. This is the Troopers display for now. This space is essentially, they're watching this space. Essentially, if you've been following the channel, you know I have purchased the Jazz Inc. 89. Fully paid off apart from shipping. I think mine's due to ship in March or February. And yeah, the Jazz Inc. 89 is going to go in here, and these will be relocated. So I'll go through a few of these troopers. So that's a transport trooper from Mandalorian. This is the Stormtrooper Commander from the Mandalorian as well, from that Boba Fett episode actually, and I think other ones as well, with the pauldron and the blaster. Death Trooper. Not the greatest articulated figure, just looks the part. Very tall, imposing looking figure. Remnant Trooper, I believe these are crawling up in the aftermarket. I think we first saw them in the Mandalorian. I've got the 3 different versions of the Shore Trooper. So you got the Grunt from the Mandalorian, then you've got the normal Shore Trooper, the first one that came out in the front there, the one from Rogue One, and then in the back you Squad Leader, also from Rogue One. Standard Stormtrooper there from Return of the Jedi, the MMS 736, like I mentioned already. These are the ones that come with the Light Up Death Star environment. I picked up 2 of these. The Scout Trooper. There's Dublin's Devil back then. 6-scale Padawan. Keith, if you know, you know. Obviously, Commander Cody, and I tend not to collect prequels, but I do collect troopers. So you got Commander Cody, and then you got the Clone Pilot holding those binoculars. Are the only 2 prequels figures I have, and in the back then you've got an Assault Tank Commander. So yeah, that's the troopers display. So in fairness, I'm really proud of how this vision has come together. Like, you know, made the changes from detolfs and a riser to Balidens and the custom module cases, and I'm very, very happy at how it turns out and how it's looking. Now this is possibly my favorite display in the collection and in the house. You're looking at an IKEA MILSBO with custom Luke lights for the IKEA MILSBO. This is the movie icons display. So my thought process behind this is that no matter who you are, regardless of your age, you'll be able to walk into the house and go, oh, that's Batman, that's Superman, you know, that's a Terminator. Like these kind of, like, even if you haven't seen the movie, you probably know what the Terminator is, you know. So you've got Batman, Superman, Terminator, Robocop, Doc Ock, Spider-Man, and you got now Wolverine, Deadpool. They're definitely household names after the summer anyway. But for the most part, these are like kind of iconic characters from iconic movies, you know. Yeah, like how good do those Inart figures look? They really do catch my eye. I'm more of a drape cape guy, but I gotta say that the wired dynamic capes that came with those figures are incredible. So this is the Inart Superman. I went for the premium edition. Look, I'll say the same thing I said before. This figure has no business being this good. I knew I'd like it. I just didn't realize how much. So got it posed up there with the dynamic cape, the back cowl, obviously, the sticky bomb gun. Got that belt on. Tedious. Not the worst thing I've ever done. I'm just hanging the metal handcuffs off the belt there because I just want to include him, and of course a few different things in his base, or in his belt. Of course, magnetic stand there as well. I always thought it was like a manhole cover, but I realize it's like actually a closed shutters of the bat symbol, or bat signal. This is just like this is the figure that probably catches my eye the most when I come in here. Probably a combination how good the head sculpt is, and the blue and red obviously pops, and the pose. I think I've done a very good job of the pose, if I do say so myself. Likeness to Henry Cavill on point. That cape, like I love the way it sits neatly at the shoulders, and it billows out really well, so you can see all the folds and the creases, just to give him that look as if he's standing there and his cape's blowing in the wind. The texture on the suit as well, it's just not like straight blue. There's a lot of, it's almost like a chainmail. I've always liked this suit. I am glad they left out the red underwear. Yeah, look, say what you want. Like I'm glad they omitted that. I actually think it looks so much better like this. And even again, magnetic base. Just I really hope Inart don't abandon the magnetic bases. I hope they just perfect them, because they're not perfect at the moment. I don't like that track system, and I just think they need to put a thin magnet that runs through the whole thing, or at least explain to us why they don't do that. Maybe there's a reason. This is the T800 from the 1984 Terminator movie. Let's face it, it's a piece of it is iconic. I mean, I know the word iconic gets thrown around a lot, especially in this space, but my idea is something iconic is something of high quality. It stands the test of time. And this has absolutely stood the test of time. Turned 40 years old in 2024. I was lucky enough to see it in the cinema, my local cinema. We're going back to the 80s, and very simple pose there. Kind of the police shootout scene. He's got that kind of a shotgun over his left shoulder and has the machine gun on the right. Again, from 1987. This is probably the only Robocop that I need, really. This is the original one. It's not the one that they released from Robocop 3, because this one actually comes with a chair. Just again, even just the mouth plate, but the likeness to Peter Weller is obvious. Comes with like 3 different mouth plates. Comes with a battle damaged chest plate and a battle damaged helmet part as well. A die-cast gun, a regular gun. The right thigh actually opens up so you can put the gun inside there, which is pretty damn cool. This particular chair as well, it actually lights up. There's a little switch there. I don't think I have it on at the moment, but I think I'm going to try to do this on camera, so if you just bear with me a few seconds there, it might be a little bit awkward. Yeah, because I recorded this first and doing a voiceover on it just so I can just concentrate on one thing at a time. So I do get it on, just bear with me. And there you go. All that effort for just 2 lights, but looks pretty damn cool. Just realised that I put that on yesterday and forgot to turn it off, so those batteries are dead. Doc Ock, a figure that got a good bit of abuse. More so because of the head sculpt. And okay, fair enough. I think some of it was absolutely warranted. I couldn't tell you this head sculpt is a good head sculpt. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a... I'd say best case scenario with the glasses, the best I could give this would be a 7, and that might be being generous. But this figure is incredible. Now this is freestanding. There is no base, there is no crotch grabber, there's no waist grabber, there is no blue tack or anything like that. It's just standing properly. I've used the center of gravity and used the ankle articulation just to get those feet firmly planted, and I'm counterbalancing with the tentacles where they're all fully articulated, and I like the way they're all doing different things. That added a little bit of splash of color there with that material Spider-Man mask. That's actually from the Homecoming figure. I wasn't using, and I like when I can go back and use accessories that are otherwise just be in the box, like, you know what I mean, because you can't use all the accessories at once. It would look ridiculous, but it's nice when we can use things like this. This is one of the best figures of 2024 and one of the best head sculpts they've ever done. I mentioned earlier on the video, they're really, really good at doing older people, probably because they have wrinkles and texture and maybe like, I don't know, 5 o'clock shadow or beards or whatever. But this guy's so fresh face, young, handsome lad, Tom Holland, and doesn't really have wrinkles yet, bastard. But yeah, they've done a great job with the head sculpt. Separate rolling eyeballs function, have that neck attachment. I really like the snow covered base as well. Now this figure, this is one of 2 Deadpools. I actually have 2 Deadpools. I have one from Deadpool 2, which is currently on display. I was actually going to, if you remember earlier on the video, we saw the construction version of the Mark III. I was actually going to swap that out and have Cable and Deadpool up there. I had an idea, but I need a piece that I haven't got yet, so maybe that's for the next one. This figure looks incredible. The star of the show is the proportions. It just looks like a guy in the suit. As much as I loved Deadpool 2 and the Deadpool 2 figure, I always thought the legs were a little skinny and the shoulders a little too broad, but this looks a lot natural. Love the inclusion of baby pool and dog pool. I'll probably never use baby pool, but the dog pool, yeah, because they did share screen time together. In the back there, that 20th Century Fox logo, that was printed, 3D printed for me. I think it's called Dad of 3D Printing on Facebook. I can drop a link in the description. And finally, final figure here in the IKEA MILSBO or movie icons display is that Hugh Jackman Wolverine from the 1973 Wolverine. Another figure that people kind of mentioned that the head sculpt maybe wasn't as good as they wanted to be. I can still see Hugh Jackman there. I can still see Alfred Molina in the Doc Ock. It's just not as strong as I'd like, or not close to as strong. This here looks like Hugh Jackman to me. It's just not all the way there. But like, love the proportion on this. Real brown leather jacket. I love the vintage 70s looking clothing. The bone claws are cool. I prefer adamantium, but they are screen accurate. He didn't have the adamantium yet. And look, I'm going to have the adamantium claws with the yellow and blue suit from Deadpool and Wolverine. Nice touch to the belt there. Of course, you can get rid of this and have swap out forearms and stuff like that. The base is incredible as well, and I've swapped out the proper nameplate as well. So yeah, that's probably my favorite display in the whole collection, the IKEA MILSBO or movie icons display. I figure I'm here more than I'm upstairs, so yeah, that's it. Okay folks, that's the end of the video. That was my collection tour Mark IV. Just want to take this opportunity to say a massive shout out to anyone who's taken the time to ever watch any of the videos, like any of the videos, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, ask put a comment on, ask a question in the live stream, you know, come on the live shows or ask me to come on to their live show. It's been a good journey so far and hopefully we're going to keep going. So if you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Consider becoming a channel member. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.